Joined now by one of our favorite former goaltenders in the NHL, our good friend Eddie Lack. Eddie, welcome. And I want to get started on one of your former teams, and that's the Carolina Hurricanes. And they're off to a pretty good start right now on the backs of a goaltender that they just acquired, and that's Frederik Andersen.
Yeah, I mean, they're just such a wagon. I mean, they are so good. They're so well coached. They have a great team. I am interested seeing them taking the next step in the playoffs this year because that's like the only thing that's been missing these last few years here.
What do you think is the next step for this Carolina Hurricanes team? I mean, they're obviously pissed off at the way things ended last season, and you mentioned well coached, obviously, by Rod Brind'Amour. But what is this next step for these guys? How do they get over the next or that hump?
I think it's just creating that winning mentality, right? And I think that for a young team like they are, it is going to take a few early playoff exits and everything like that to kind of learn like how you can win in the playoffs, right? You're probably asking the wrong guys since I haven't really won in the playoffs myself, but
I'm going to say
yeah, but yeah, that's like the next step for them, I think.
you talk about a team that's had very little playoff success and is learning how to win in the playoffs, and then another team, one of your former, obviously, is a team that's looking to punch their ticket and maybe try and get into the playoffs, and that's the Vancouver Canucks. Look, you've been in this market, you know exactly how wild it can be for a player in Vancouver. What do you think is going through the minds of those players right now after they've come off to a pretty slow start?
Yeah, you know what? I'm not gonna read too much into it now. It's still very early in the season. They played every single game on the road. They have a lot of new players that are trying to fit into the different systems and like learning how to play together and everything, right? And their two best players just got there like a week or two ago, right? So I still think it's a little bit too early to press the panic button, but it's slowly creeping into those times, I think.
Well, I mean, you've played here. You know exactly what the panic button is, and it's probably been hit as soon as the preseason roster's announced, right, Eddie?
Yeah, and like there's always going to be something to complain about in Van, right? So it's I still think it's too early, but and I still think that they did get a lot better in the season, right? Now it's just kind of about that time to learn how to play and how to win together.
They're off to their longest road trip to start a season in franchise history. Did you like, as a player, getting the early long road trips out early in the season, or did you want them a little bit later on?
I liked it early. We always had it early with Carolina too because it was the state fair and everything every year. So we always start on the road. I think it's just like a great way to come together as a team and like go out to the team dinners and everything like that, right? So I think it's a good start to the season, and as long as you can kind of get away from there playing 500 hockey, I think that's a pretty decent start.
Awesome, Eddie. Thank you so much for this. I mean, now that you're retired, you have time for all the state fairs and candy corn and popcorn and mini donuts you can crush, right?
Yeah, I'm gonna put on weight like you.
Thanks, Eddie.
Thank you.